mentioned on your profile you're currently building 250 plus links per month. So that's a lot.
But typically I'll make around 30 to 35K a month in revenue. And then from that revenue, I'll try to shoot for about 50% profits.
Hey guys, Robin here and welcome back to the Creatoregg podcast show, where I interview fellow entrepreneurs and delve into their money-making strategies and earnings. So today I have a special guest, Jeff, who is a 25-year-old expert in link building and SEO. I'll be asking him questions about effective techniques for ranking websites high on Google. We'll also touch on Jeff's lifestyle, including his love for traveling.
Yeah, I love the ocean. I try to get outside as much as possible. I am a full-time traveler, so I have been on the road for about 2.5 years. Currently, I'm actually in Portugal, on the coast of Portugal.
Additionally, we'll discuss mindset and how Jeff overcome struggles to establish a successful freelancer Upwork profile. And he's now earning over $30,000 per month.
In the beginning, it's really difficult with Upwork because the way that the algorithm works is whenever someone posts a job and you see the applicants, it says, Jeff made X amount of money on the platform. This is what his job success score is. This is how many clients he's worked with.
So if you enjoy these talks and want to support my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a comment, which will help push this video to more people. Or you can share this video with one of your friends. Jeff, can you tell me exactly what you do and how you make money?
A little bit about what I do is companies will reach out to me and I will get them what's called backlinks. I will go out and reach out to websites to get them to publish articles pointing back to one of my clients' websites.
Cool. Can you explain like your typical client?
So a little bit about my ideal clients. My ideal clients are marketing agencies. So some marketing agencies will come to me as a white label solution. They'll create me a company email and they'll add me into their already existing company infrastructure.
You're mentioning white labeling solution. What does that mean? White labeling solution?
So white label solution essentially is where a marketing agency will approach you as a freelancer, and they'll basically create you a company email and they'll put you under the umbrella of their agency and have you do a lot of the work while you're still an independent freelancer, not a part of the company.
Okay, so that's your main like 80 or 90% of your clients, like a marketing agency hiring you. Like
Correct.
Just to be like the freelance employee, if that's
the freelance employee, the contract by contract based employee. Yeah.
How many agencies do you have right now?
Yeah, right now we have about 3 different marketing agencies, and within those marketing agencies, some of them have 3 clients, some of them have 8 clients, and typically what that looks like. The good thing about SEO is that SEO, you really want to sign for a long contract. So typically these are 9 to 12 month retainers. Some agencies, however, they'll engage me on a different model. So some of them will just say, hey, Jeff, we want you to come in a few times per month, jump on a phone call, and more so just give over-the-shoulder consulting. So what that means is, conducting a live audit on their website, going through some of the progress and explaining things in a lot of detail, answering questions and so forth. So I kind of have this hybrid model between consultations, live consultations, as well as fulfilling projects on a long-term basis.
And the consultations, you mean consulting the agency or consulting the actual clients, the client of the agency?
A little bit of both. Okay. So one is consulting the clients. 2, I do a lot of training as well. So some companies, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, Jeff, we have an SEO agency. We want to train them about link building and how to create a high-performing link building team. So then I'll just come in, show them some strategies, implement some processes, and just help them better get a grasp of the entire landscape.
And where are your customers based, like primarily, like the agencies?
Typically in the US. However, I do currently have a client in South Korea. I've worked with clients around the world, in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in China. So I would say, all around
all
the
over
world.
The place.
All over the place.
Do you have like any particular group of clients for those agencies that you're helping the most, that you have the most experience in, for example?
Yeah, I would say most of my experience lies within the health sector. So helping companies in the addiction treatment, rehab, mental health spaces. I have had a lot of clients in those verticals in the past. And that's also very important because when it comes to SEO, there's a lot of very specific details working within the health industry. that actually don't apply to other industries. So when we're creating content, for example, this content we need to be telling Google, hey, this content was peer reviewed by a doctor, and this is why we're qualified to speak about the subject. So there's little things like that within some of these industries that you really want to have an expert who has worked in those industries before to really get a grasp of.
For generating content, you mean?
Generating content, that also overlaps into link building, because we're creating content for other websites, and that content has to be reviewed and so forth.
And you are providing those experts. You have the contacts for those experts.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So cool. So an agency hires you, and then actually you have a lot of contacts that they don't have. Yeah. Or maybe not the same contacts.
I'll bring on some partners to assist with some of the content creation, or if the agency is looking for a more wide SEO role, I have some good partners of mine that are in technical SEO. They do keyword research and some of the other high-level strategy. So depending on what the contract looks like, I will sometimes come in with a team, or sometimes just come in as myself.
And those partners are also, you know them from Upwork?
From Upwork, and then from Upwork, I will just grow my network, and then this person introduces me to that person, and from there now I have this pretty big group of people that I work with closely.
And maybe an important question, like what's the key thing for you as a backlink builder or a SEO expert? Because I saw on your profile, I'm gonna grab your profile real quick here. You mentioned on your profile you're currently building 250 plus links per month, so that's a lot. And you also mentioned that the average client you have, and I think you mentioned the agency, I think then as a client, or it has a link budget of 3,000 to 6,000 a month. Can you tell something about that? About the number of backlinks you build, and about the average budget a client needs to have when working with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So great questions, by the way. 250 links per month is not a hard thing to do. When I was
not a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Wait. We gotta retake that.
That's cool, man. For you, it's not a hard thing to do, but like for beginners, like building one link a month is it's an accomplishment, maybe.
Okay. When it comes to link building, 250 links per month, it's not an easy task. When I was first starting link building, there's no way I would have been able to do that. Through the years, I've built these really great and refined systems and processes to ensure that we just keep everything organized every step of the way. We also keep a really in-depth QA process with the client. So typically whenever a client comes on, we want to make sure that they say yes every step of the way. So they're satisfied. Everyone in the party is happy.
Is that the checklist you mentioned on your side, on your profile? I think you mentioned like you have an 18-step checklist. Is that correct?
So I have an 18-step checklist that basically I'll go
Is that what you mean with the yes and no Q&A?
Yes, it is.
Is that something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So typically whenever I have a website, I will run it through this checklist, and it'll pass all my metrics tests. And then from there, I'll ask the client, hey, what do you think about this website? Do you find audience overlap on it? And we'll just get into the nitty gritty there. And then once everyone says yes, then we'll continue with the process. And that 3 to 6K budget, like you mentioned, that's actually per website. So within those agencies, that's typically what we'll charge each of those clients.
I see you're actually like $300 for a domain authority between 30 and 40. And like for a domain authority 70 plus, you pay 750 like on average. Is that
correct? Yeah.
Ballpark?
So let's say if they want to engage on 10 links per month that are GA 50 links, I'll just charge them 500 per link for 10 links, which is 5K.
Maybe can you like briefly explain to the ones that have no clue what DA or domain authority means? Can you give like a brief explanation of why it is important to focus on high domain authority websites for receiving backlinks?
Yeah, great question. So DA or domain authority is a metric from Moz, which is an SEO software. And basically what it does is it looks at the URL in the eyes of Google, and it tells how authoritative this URL is. How much weight Google is really putting when they see your URL. You know, if if you have really great social signals that they're sending to Google, if you have a nice backlink profile, organic search traffic, there's all these different metrics that they take into account when creating this score. So the higher the number, the better. And if you have a website out there, you want your website associated. You want your website to have backlinks from the highest DA websites possible.
So like, just to make sure I understand correctly, like on your profile, you say like a budget of 3,000 to 6,000 a month. Is that the number those agencies pay you for to hire you, or do I misunderstand that?
That's individual clients within the agency.
Okay, so that's totally like not related to the agency itself.
Correct.
So how does it work with the agency? Do you like work on an hourly basis, or?
It depends. Yeah, so, I mean, some agencies they'll bring me on for consulting, which I'll do $250 an hour for consulting, and then some of them will bring me on to create X amount of backlinks, and then from those X amount of backlinks, let's say they have 3 clients, each client is doing $5K a month in spend, then that agency will pretty much just give me 15 at the end of the month, and sometimes there's some add-ons and upsells that I'll build into the contract as well. And
to build 250 plus links per month, what's the key thing here? Like how can someone build so many links per month?
So in order to build 250 links per month, organization and process, those are the 2 keys to success here. Process in the sense that you got to have, you got to look at it as a conveyor belt. A plus B equals C. You got to say, you got to own each section of the process and make sure that you're making sure that the content is on time, making sure that you know who's producing it, that there's an optimal QA process there. Same with the website, same with the entire outreach process. You need to make sure that you have, a script that you're going to send to all of these websites. You need to make sure that you add personalization into the script in order to improve the response rates. And you also have to have a follow-up sequence with the websites if they don't respond within a certain period of time.
And with the websites, you mean like the websites you want to publish the content on for the backlink, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So do you also have like a big catalog of like backlog of all possible websites you can publish content on? Or?
Yeah. Right now we have about 31,000 websites that I've built over the past 5 years, and constantly counting because whenever we'll bring on a new client, these clients, if they're operating in a new industry or so forth, we will do these outreach methods, which will basically go and type in certain metrics, scrape the internet for relevant content, pull this content, throw more metrics at it. And then, we're left with a file of 5,000 websites that are related to addiction treatment. And then from there, we have to email outreach all of them and categorize all the responses. Then our spreadsheet gets bigger, and just been building it for a really long time now.
And from time to time, you mentioned the word we. Are you working with a team or?
Yeah, I do work with 2 VAs who assist with the data.
BAs?
VAs, virtual assistants.
VAs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So typically these are data entry virtual assistants. So people that I'll basically give them, a massive file and say, hey, we need to categorize these websites based on, what they're talking about. So this website's a business website. This website's a health website. This website talks about multiple different things. So because of that, we might not want to include that into our list. Or I'll have them update some of our metrics from time to time. So this just gives me the ability to work with 4 hands. To do more things. Yeah.
Is it a reason why you prefer to work with agencies over like the directly with the client?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I prefer working with agencies over the direct client because typically when you're working with a marketing agency, they already know the value of the service that you're providing. They already know what link building is, what to expect, what that timeline looks like. Whereas if you're working with an individual client, it's a lot of the process is educating them and saying, hey, we're going to build links now, and we're not going to see the benefit for the next 6 to 12 months. So consistency is key. And we just have to keep feeding this beast in order to improve our Google rankings.
So, and what about the quotes or like the sayings on the web that you, if you build great content, the backlinks will enter themselves? Is that true or?
It is true to a certain extent. So when it comes to content, at the end of the day, the best content is king. Content is getting more and more important when it comes to Google. And a lot of my clients, I'll tell them, hey, when it comes to link building, I could build links that'll get you to the first page of Google. But where the traffic is in those first three positions when you search something on Google. And in order to get in those first three positions, you really need the best quality content out there. And having the best quality content out there, it does bring natural links. But what I'm doing is creating more organic links, and that's going to speed up the process.
Okay, Jeff, can you tell me how much do you make in total with this business?
Yeah, definitely. So with freelancing, typically month to month, your income is changing based on, clients that are coming on and clients that are coming off. But typically I'll make around 30 to 35K a month in revenue. And then from that revenue, I'll try to shoot for about 50% profits.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's not too bad.
It's really cool, man. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a great business.
Can you tell me how you spend your money?
Yeah, so when it comes to link building, you always want to make sure that you have the best websites out there on the internet. So this comes with making sure that your database of websites is always up to date and great. Making sure that you're always reaching out to more websites and categorizing responses. So you can't really stay stagnant with what you have. So you always have to be investing in improving your processes, improving the websites that you have, as well as using many different softwares such as Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, and is $200 a month softwares. They're not cheap. So when it comes to Ahrefs and Moz, both of them use this specific algorithm or their specific algorithm to analyze and categorize certain things such as keywords and traffic data. So it's great to get your information from both sources, both Ahrefs and Moz and SEMrush.
Those are the three main software tools you use in your weekly or day-to-day business.
Yeah, correct.
Or do you have other software tools you use?
I also use Surfer SEO, which is another great SEO software for content.
Any productivity software tools?
I do use a free tool called Trello. I think Trello is amazing, and it's really great at just keeping me on track with clients, deadlines, to-dos, and so forth.
But that total package of those three software tools, what would it be? Like maybe $1,000 a month, or at the highest, I think?
Maybe about $600-700 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about the rest of those 14,000? Because I think you mentioned 50% profit margin, right? So we're still left with 14,000 in additional costs.
Yeah. So some of my projects that I work on these days, I'm also working on an equity basis. So typically, I would like to invest some of my SEO resources in order to invest into this company and get some equity later down the road.
That's a total different revenue stream than Upwork, you mean?
Yeah, total different revenue stream. So I'm actually working on 2 of those right now. And then on top of that, I also work with some of those VAs to improve our process. Currently also building on a website and working on another side business that I'm hoping to launch within the next 2 months.
You mentioned those 2 websites you have equity in. So you have equity in those websites, but what are the costs involved in that?
2 websites. Right now, one of them I'm investing about $2,000 a month. And then the other one I'm investing about $1,500 a month.
And that's not really related to SEO in particular. It's just in general. Maybe
no, that's
whatever.
Related to SEO specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm also investing a certain given amount of hours and so forth.
Yeah. So that's maybe building links, for example. Those
correct.
But buying in links, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then you mentioned the VAs. So you have 2 VAs. Can you give a ballpark of how much of percentage of your total monthly cost goes directed to those VAs?
Yeah, when it comes to the VAs, typically I'll spend around $1,000 to $1,500 for both of those VAs in a given month, and I'm not
for each of them, or in total
for both of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Some months more, some months less, but typically what I'll do is I'll just do project by project work. So instead of having them constantly on payroll, I will just say, hey, here's a specific project that we have. We need to do X, Y, and Z. And, from there, we'll just agree on a price and get the project done.
Yeah. Always the same VAs, or do you switch from time to time?
Always the same VAs. Been working with these 2 VAs since I started my website.
Cool.
since I
your
started my
business.
business. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for hiring VAs?
When it comes to VAs, you really want to try as many different VAs as possible. I went through a process where I was working with this VA for a little bit and working with that VA for a little bit. And really, at the end of the day, you want to try as many VAs as possible because some of them have different, styles of working, different styles of communication. So you really got to find the one that, you could really grow with, someone that understands you and wants to give you that level of personalization.
Do you use Upwork for finding those VAs?
I do use Upwork for finding those VAs. Yeah.
The last thing you mentioned was the business you're working on right now. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So this is a business that I'm currently incubating right now. It's called SEO Bootcamp.com. It's going to be me moving away from the agency model and moving more so into live corporate training. So instead of an agency comes to us and we fulfill the work for them, it's more so me as well as a team training this agency or training this company and saying, hey, this is how you basically do SEO. This is how you execute strategies and wrap your head around it. So it's going to be a completely different model. And looking to roll that out within the next 2 months. So that's been taking up a lot of my time and resources to get that.
That's a solo project of yours, or do you partner with others as well?
Right now it's solo. Eventually I will partner with others to make that a reality.
And partnering, you mean hiring others, or really partnering, giving away equity of that business?
Probably giving away equity of that business, yeah.
And why would you do that, since you're the expert on SEO already?
What I want to do is I want to come at it with multiple different experts. So I want to say, hey, we have this expert team of SEOs.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my ideas for it.
But you can also hire an expert, right? Why? Just curious what the strategy or mindset behind it is.
I just work with a lot of experts that we've collaborated on many projects in the past together, and I think could be a good next one.
I'm just visiting the website SEO Bootcamp. Maybe I'm writing it wrong, but is it online already or no?
Not online yet.
So Jeff, what's a day in a life like for you at the moment?
A day in the life. So typically,
I see you're at the beach right now, so that's that looks pretty cool.
yeah, I love the ocean. I try to get outside as much as possible. I am a full-time traveler, so I have been on the road for about 2.5 years. Currently, I'm actually in Portugal, on the coast of Portugal. So some of the hobbies that I really like are exploring cities, going on big hikes, anything in the water, really. So, I try to balance work with a healthy lifestyle.
And how much do you work on an average day?
Yeah, typically 25 to 30 hours a week. And then in the average day, that varies. Since I work for myself, some days will be my reporting, phone calls days. And then some days it'll just be independent work. And those independent work days, it could be a 10-hour day where I'm just in a flow state. I want to, continue with everything, or it could be, a 2 or 3 hour day. It really depends. I think, days when I'm feeling really good, I like to really strike it hard and work really hard. And days when I'm not feeling it, that's an independent work day. I'll kind of chill out a little bit.
Do you have a lot of meetings planned, deadlines planned every week, or do you have a pretty free schedule?
I always have a lot of meetings. Typically, I'll do about 4 to 5 per day. Some days more, some days less.
But they are planned in advance, or do you plan them on that day and ask? And do you have a time to have a meeting right now?
Typically 2 or 3 days in advance.
What did you do before this? Maybe explain, or maybe tell us what's your age at the moment?
So I'm currently 25 years old. I graduated university about 3 years ago, and I was working for a marketing agency. I was also starting a different company, a SaaS platform, as an iPhone app, and that was during the COVID era. So I was full steam ahead with that, and then things went south with COVID and everything that happened. So I ended up moving home, and my agency background,
Your home was in
Hawaii. So my home was in Hawaii, and I just decided to double down on my skills, improve my SEO skill set, and go into the world of freelancing.
Nice, man. 25 years old, and living the life, it seems, bro.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not too bad.
You're currently living alone, or traveling alone, or with friends or family, or?
Yeah, currently traveling alone. From time to time, I'll have a group with me, but currently by myself.
So you can only make like 30,000 to 35,000 a month on Upwork. But I guess you didn't start that way. So maybe can you explain how did you become so successful, and when did you start on Upwork, and how was it in the beginning?
Yeah, so in the beginning, it's really difficult with Upwork because the way that the algorithm works is whenever someone posts a job and you see the applicants, it says Jeff made X amount of money on the platform. This is what his job success score is. This is how many clients he's worked with. So that's typically the format of Upwork. So as a new person on the platform, it's really hard when it says you made $0 and you haven't worked with anyone. So it's really difficult in the beginning. You're not really working with the best clients. You're working with a lot of people that may micromanage you, or you may not be getting the hourly rates that you deserve. But once you weather that storm and make it to the other side and start to build your profile, then that changes really quickly. One of the biggest things that I leveraged from the very beginning is social proof. So I would work with a client and then I would say, hey, next month I'll give you free work if you can let me do a case study on the success of this project and give me a video testimonial that I could use for marketing. And I did that with a few clients, and I was basically stacking up these case studies, stacking up these video testimonials. So then when I would apply to a job and someone would say, hey, are you experienced for this position? I would say, yeah, here's this case study, and some video testimonials. And I think that's
really
just
good
the best
idea.
way to grow. Yeah.
But you mentioned like you need to weather the storm, and once you get through that, once you get through it to the other side, the sun is shining. Like
Yep.
like at your place right now.
Yeah.
But like how do you weather that storm? Like what's the maybe yeah, go ahead. Can you answer that question? How do you
Yeah.
weather that storm? Like how
Yeah.
long is that storm typically?
Typically, it's about 6 to 8 months. I've actually trained a few people on Upwork as well, and from the people that I trained, 6 to 8 months was also the time that it took them to get out of that storm. And really, what you got to do is you just got to take as many jobs as possible. You can't really be picky at that stage. You just have to be dedicated to building your profile, and just seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, and what does that mean, like in practical words? Does that mean like how many, for example, how many proposals do you have to send out to get one accepted? Do you have like a rough estimate of that?
Yeah, when your profile's at that stage, you probably have to send 30 or 40 proposals just to get one bite. Yeah.
Because it costs a lot of time, right? Because you want to get personal with each job
Correct.
offer you want to get. So how much time does it roughly cost to send out that many proposals every single day?
Yeah, I mean that would probably cost, it'd probably take about 5 to 10 hours, to get one job when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
So
Just to get a job.
Just to get a job.
Yeah, exactly. So just to do sales, basically, right?
Just to do sales. Yeah.
What year did you start with Upwork?
I started about 3 years ago.
How long did it took for you? Was it also like 7 to 8 months that storm, or?
I would say about 7 to 8 months, and then once you get out of the storm, things are working really well, and then probably in about a year, things are working really great. It just gets better and better.
Maybe the last question on this part: did you had any like insecurities, or was it like I'm gonna quit this? I'm gonna do something else, like during those during the initial phase of that storm?
No insecurities at the initial phase.
You just kept going and through
Just
the storm.
Got to keep going through the storm.
So what motivated you to like keep going instead of like quitting that
Yeah,
and just find a job?
I knew it was possible. Once
How did you know?
Once you start gaining some traction on Upwork, you kind of get the sense that, hey, if I did have a profile that had a lot of great reviews and a lot of testimonials and client satisfaction, I could be taking all these jobs. So once that clicked in my head, I just used that as motivation and just really saw it through.
Yeah. Cool, man. The perseverance.
Yeah.
Can you share a specific example of one of your clients and how you made a transformation for them from start to finish?
Definitely. So I was working with this company. It was called betterfamily.com. And this was the e-commerce company in the liquid multivitamin space. And I started working with this client, and they didn't really have much traction on Google. Really, when we started with the campaign, they were getting maybe a few hundred visits per month. And through some SEO work over the next 7 months, we're able to get them on the first page of Google for about 370 keywords. So
Yeah.
that was very, very impactful. That substantially moved their organic search traffic.
And how much backlinks did it take you to do that? Was it only backlinks, or did you also did on-page SEO for that?
I was building backlinks. They also had a team that was creating content and on-page SEO. I can't remember the specific number, but it was a good amount of backlinks that we built. We're also going after larger publications such as Yahoo News.
And what about the time frame?
It was about 7 months.
Do you remember like how much money was invested in purchasing those backlinks for getting 300 plus keywords on the first page of Google? Like on a rough ballpark, do you remember? Was it like $5,000 in total, or 10 or 20 or 50 for purchasing all those backlinks?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could talk about this, to be honest. Client confidentiality. That's why I'm not sure if I could jump into the really specific details.
No worries. Okay, cool. You're doing this like for 3 years already, and like probably before that you dabbled and learned a lot about SEO. But how can others become as skilled as you are in this field?
Yeah. So when it comes to SEO, digital marketing in general. I was a marketing student when I went to university. However, while in my studies, I wasn't learning any specialty skills like SEO or anything of that nature. A big problem in the industry is a lot of people try to be these marketing generalists, right? So a lot of people try to say, hey, I do social media, pay-per-click, SEO, I do this, that. However, really what the industry wants is they want people that specialize in these specific skills. So I think my recommendation for anyone that wants to jump into the industry is you definitely have to recognize that. And there's a lot of free resources like YouTube. There's cheap resources like Udemy. When I first started out, I went on Udemy to self-teach myself SEO. You could buy a course for literally $10. And I used that to teach myself about the basics of SEO. And then from there, once I got clients, then I bought a better course, and then I bought a better course. And then I got a mentor who taught me more. So that's really, really important. You always have to be educating yourself.
Do you still have a mentor?
I still do have a mentor. And when it comes to SEO or any other facet of marketing, you always have to recognize that it's an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. So you always have to be up to date with the latest algorithm updates, the latest changes to what's going on. So I think being a marketer in general, you have to be willing to always be learning.
And how do you stay up to date with all those new changes in SEO land?
Yeah, you just have to be living in the forums, living in the Facebook forums. You have to be reading the new posts from Google, as well as just experimenting. When it comes to SEO, really what we're doing is we're scientists that are experimenting on the algorithm with hypotheses about what could happen if we do this. So, and
how much time do you spend like learning or finding new ways, like on a weekly average?
Few hours per week, maybe 5 hours per week. Also talking with some people. There's just so many changes to the landscape, like the emergence of ChatGPT, Google releasing their new AI, and you just always have to be in the know and thinking long term what's going to happen.
And you mentioned that mentor. Is it like a paid mentor, or is it just like a friend of yours, or maybe like a colleague?
Friend of mine that I met through LinkedIn, that I've just been in contact with for a number of years now.
And he's doing the same thing as you are, or is he like in a total different direction?
No, he's actually in paid ads. He's in paid ads, but he gets all his money from Upwork. He's made over $1 million from the platform. He works with companies like Bear, as well as I believe he was doing work for Audi.
And how did you get in contact with the guy? Like, did you just send him a message or on LinkedIn? Or
I sent him a message on LinkedIn, and we jumped on a call and just kept the relationship going.
Do you have any tips for sending a message to like a guy like that?
When you're sending a message to someone that you admire on LinkedIn, someone that you're looking up to, you want to not just send him a cold message right out of the blue. You want to interact with some of his posts. Maybe he's on Twitter, maybe tweet at him, maybe like some things, just so that they see you from multiple different channels. over a given period of time, and then you make the outreach, and it looks a lot better when you do it like that.
And what outreach did you do? Like, can you be a little bit more specific? How do you
I just
reach
said,
out to him?
hey man, I noticed your post and it really resonates with me. I'd love to pick your brain a little bit more about it.
And he said, okay, let's do it.
I said, okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you have anything else to add to like how to develop those skills for yourself?
I'm also rolling out SEObootcamp.com. SEObootcamp.com is going to be a way for people to beef up their skills and learn from a live coaching session when it comes to SEO. We're going to be well up to date with the latest and greatest, what's working in the SEO industry, as well as recent algorithm changes to keep it relevant.
And what's the business model behind the SEO Bootcamp? Can we like, is it a monthly retainer, like the monthly subscription for if like, for example, if I want to subscribe to that service of yours?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a monthly fixed cost. So it's going to be, hey, we're going to empower your team over the next week to learn about SEO. And then from there, every quarter, we're going to do algorithm updates calls. So it'll basically be, hey, in March, we're going to be talking about the past 3 months of algorithm updates and how that affects the strategy moving forward.
Is it only for like teams, bigger companies, or can also individuals sign up for
right now, we're going to start with bigger teams. Eventually, we're going to roll it out to individuals.
To end this conversation, do you have like any last words, any advice for others trying to get higher in SEO, to get to improve their SEO rankings?
Yeah, when it comes to improving your SEO rankings, just make sure that you have your foundation well optimized. I tell my clients all the time, I can be building 100 backlinks per month. But at the end of the day, if you have any technical blockers to your site, you want to make sure that you get that optimized, because there could be things that are holding your campaign back from success. So start with the basics first.
Do you think every business or every website should focus on SEO as well, besides like social media, or do you feel like
definitely? SEO is it's the best channel out there. It's a channel that's only going to get more important over time. And it's something that's a permanent traffic solution, right? So once you make your SEO, or once your SEO starts taking off and starts working, then it's something that will continuously pay back to your website. Yeah.
Because, for example, with your website SEO Bootcamp in the future, I guess you already have like a big database of people, clients that might be interested in that service. Are you still going to focus on also like creating articles and try to rank that site on Google and building backlinks, or are you mainly focusing on your existing client base?
Yeah, SEO is going to be one of our biggest channels. We're definitely going to create some content and
cool.
get that right.
So we can see how you the experts are treating their own site, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.